and share this this broadcast because we need you. All right, so this is ATX Comedy Review, Brian. This is our first time you've actually been on this show, but you've done some podcasts with us.
Yeah, a bunch of times, dude. I like your setup, man. You got camera on me, camera on you.
Yeah, we used to have like 4 cameras when we were doing it before with a bigger room.
Yeah.
But now I'm just trying to keep it small and simple.
Yeah, whatever works, man. It looks good. I mean, it's professional.
Yeah, we try to do it right, But yeah, we do more cameras eventually. But I'm always probably gonna end up doing it in the front room once the Christmas tree and stuff is gone because I've had some other comics want to do podcast here. Rent out the spot for them. rent out the equipment, rent out the place, and I do the producing for them. So that might be a thing we do in the future here as well.
I think that'd be awesome, dude. I think that's right down your alley, dude. And it's something you're already good at, and people always need help with that, And a lot of people got good stories they want to put out there to the world, and they need somebody who can help them with the technical stuff and the all the stuff you're good at.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah,
that's what we try to do. This week though was kind of crazy. We had New Year's on Sunday, obviously, so we didn't have a podcast then. But you were driving into town during this time. You were coming up from Florida, huh?
Yeah, man. I had a great gig on New Year's Eve. It was in Pensacola, Florida.
All right.
And my buddy Kayvon took me with him, and our other buddy Justin Rivera. It was 3 of us, and we put on a show at this barn. This guy in
a barn,
but
in Florida.
Yeah,
I know they have barns in Florida.
Dude, you want to think it? So this guy, it was cool. His name was Larry Downs, and he has a barn, but it has a stage. It's like a actual comedy room, but it's like in a barn. He has bands play there sometimes and stuff. It was awesome, dude.
It's just non-taxed. He just doesn't pay taxes on this club establishment because it's.
I don't think he really runs it as a club though. It's just his property. It's a barn. You know what I mean? And he has
smart.
a New Year's party. You know what I mean? He throws his own New Year's party.
Is it just a New Year's party? Does it do like other?
Not that I know of, but I didn't really talk to him too much about it. But I just know, hey, he has a comedy show.
Not trying to get him in trouble.
No, I don't know, but he was a cool guy, and we had, man, it was one of the crowds that you just love that type of crowd, man, and it was fun. I mean, it's always fun to do gigs outside of the normal establishment type places, and so it was great. And then I was like, well. I'm 10 hours from Austin, and I don't have anything coming up this week. Let's go to Austin and get some sets in, and then I'll go back to Florida on the 12th, and I got a gig in Florida on the 13th and 14th.
So we were trying getting a gig in yesterday, huh? We were trying getting a gig yesterday.
Well, we got one in.
So let's talk about the week before though. So last Sunday, I did the whole Creek in the Cave thing. Got with Hans. Did the bucket pool. Got up on the Creek in the Cave. Everything was good. Whole week was good. We did shooters, which is the challenge mic, which I told you to go do tonight. Which is where you pull a topic out of the bucket. Then went down to the creek on Tuesday night, and then came back up to Anderson Mill. Fucking all good stuff, all good sets. I ended up closing out on Anderson Mill on Tuesday, so I ended up having a little bit longer time. That's a tougher bar. You'll see it tonight, but it's a good one. But Monday, we had Kill Tony that Monday, and it was an interesting crowd. It was light because it was Christmas Eve or day or something. Christmas, yeah. It was the day after Christmas, basically. The 26th, yeah. And man, it was an interesting feel, interesting vibe. Still didn't get called up, of course, but everybody there was just it was not as a funny crowd as sometimes. There wasn't as many joke books handed out, big joke books. There was a lot of small joke books handed out that night, but overall it wasn't too bad. And then the rest of the week at the comedy, we had just local open mics and whatnot. But I think like what we've been talking about is trying to build the showcases out here, trying to get more bigger comics coming this way and putting together something. But Anyways, man, so you were talking about future stuff now that we're back in the past. So let's talk about what happened on Kill Tony yesterday real quick.
Man, that was they had a good episode last night, man. They had well, when you put this out, you put this out after that episode comes out? Because I don't want to give away spoilers.
It'll come out tomorrow, actually. But not enough people watch this yet.
Oh, okay. No, it was cool, man. I mean, we didn't get on, but man, I had a great time, and the energy there was fun, and a lot of good conversations with people, and very creative, and it was cool.
Yeah, man. We tried using our connections to get inside, not stay in the bullpen this time, and that was denied because of a special guest. But you guys might see that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but it's all good. It was a good time, man. And sometimes it that's comedy. It plays out how it plays out.
Well, it's comedy to them.
Yeah, it's comedy to them.
Yeah. It was tragedy to us.
Yeah, that's true. It was tragedy.
No, it wasn't too bad. Standing back there. So that was the first time standing in that bullpen. What'd you think?
I liked it, man. I mean, I wanted to get up on, but it was the energy is really interesting to feel.
Yeah.
Standing in the bullpen, the excitement, the stuff like that, and so yeah, it was it was unique. I'm glad I came out and felt what that's like. It kind of makes me, even though I've been doing it a while, stuff like that makes me feel like I'm brand new again.
Well, you came out in October and you had more of the VIP treatment.
Yeah.
We sat in the audience. We got backstage. It was a cooler time, but you also got called up on that first time.
Yeah.
So were your expectations a little bit jaded by that, do you think? Or you think,
no.
you think if you would have done this experience first and then had that experience second, it would have been more appreciated at the time? Or do you think you...
No, I mean, because I know that this is part of it. It's just...
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the way it goes.
Because at that time, I already been standing back there like 12 times, and so I appreciate sitting in the fucking thing. And,
yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know if you...
Well, you know what? It is like, last night was more of like a comic hangout with other comics type of thing. The other time was more like, I don't know, just watching, sitting up there, first time seeing it in Austin and all that,
So what'd you think of the Austin comics compared to other places, the people standing out there with us and,
Dude, I think they're good, man. I think there's a lot of good comics here. I think that they have a lot of cool shows that, the one time we did one here where at the end you have to do an impression.
Okay.
And it's just something you wouldn't probably do in your set, especially I got a couple impressions I do, but it's just something that makes you think outside the box, makes you work on another aspect of your craft. I think there should be more stuff like that. The other thing is, like you're saying, there's one where you pick a random topic out of a bucket and you riff on that for 3 minutes.
The challenge by tonight.
The challenge, little stuff like that, I think actually helps you, because otherwise you can get in just I often do my material, write my thing. And even if I have new material, I'm not really working on an impression or anything. I'm still being me doing my material. It's just a different joke I wrote on a new topic or something like that. Where I think that some of these things, like Austin, a weird place, they have this different types of shows, different types of mics, which it's pretty cool. And obviously. Someone who sees the world like I do is not really excited to go to LA or New York City or something to be, ridiculed for the actual fascists to come after me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as they call, I want freedom. I want a place where you can say whatever, and I don't feel like there's a few lunatics out here, but there's not as many woke Mongols out here trying to ruin you, I would say. So but yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of grimy,
Austin itself.
Yeah, but that's kind of like it. Kind of you walk through that area, it's like it's nasty. I was like, man, this is zombie world out here, in the daytime, walking through that 6th Street.
Well, since it rained, they all disappeared and they washed away.
Yeah, but it's dude, it's an interesting place, and like I was telling you, man, I wouldn't mind coming down here like once a month or so to get in on because I like that there's a lot of mics, and when you're doing more kind of professional shows, you don't really, especially when you're getting paid, a lot of times you don't want to try out some material. So here's good because there's so many mics that you can.
Do not get paid, huh?
You're not getting paid on these mics, but they sharpen you up for when you go back out and get paid in front of
Right.
actual paying people that you can have worked it out in front of these type of places, and you come here for like 7 or 10 days and you can get a couple mics in a night at least. So you leave here and go back out onto the.
Well, that's a good way to look at it, I guess. But are those headphones comfortable? I don't think you're. The other side is see how they pop out. See here, pull it down there. No, the actual headphone there. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
We'll just use the first clip of you looking like you don't know how to use headphones.
Okay, we'll keep that in.
It's live. It's out there.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well, that's not the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. So.
Today even.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding, brother. So what you drove around around Austin today and check things out?
Well, today I didn't do too much. I went to the gym. I signed up at Planet Fitness.
Oh, you got the membership?
Yeah, because they have them everywhere. So it's $25 a month.
Oh, it's $25 a month. Okay,
Yeah,
I was a little off, but you get free pizza, so I kind of make.
Yeah, and but I figure as much as I'm gone all the time, if there is such a thing, and then I went I went to get something to eat, and then I went to Starbucks and did some work, and then that's it, man. The day went so fast today.
That's cool. You got a job at Starbucks already.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Pretty fast.
But yes, I did that. But that's just trying to get the it's like when the new year hits, you do always try. Oh man, I hope this year this.
Yeah. So I notice a lot of comics, of these new comics are always asking you for advice. They're always coming up to you and saying, "What can you tell me?" Blah blah blah, or whatever. Whatever. Mm-hmm. What's like one of the most common questions you get from doing it the last 16 years or whatever?
Well, there's a lot of times, so many times you meet people that want to just get started, and they ask you how to get started, and there's only one way to get started.
To get started.
Is to get started.
Is that what I used to tell you though, man? I was like, I'm gonna do it someday, right?
Yeah.
I used to tell you that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta fucking do it.
You can sit there and think about it as much as you want, and think about, I would say this, I'd say that, but it's not until you get up there that you do it, but I mean, so that's one of the things, and I mean, looking back, obviously, if I knew what I knew, and then but it's mainly getting your spots, like even yesterday, like when we sat at the coffee shop, 20, 30 minutes, and just hey, here's what I'm thinking about saying. Here's what I'm thinking about saying. Having people around you to do that is one of the things that make you grow the fastest, right?
Right.
Like a lot of times when I'll be out on the road with Darren, we'll go to the Barnes & Noble or get a coffee and just kind of sit, and then, and then also, of course, right after you get off the stage is one of the best times because your mind is really running.
Yeah. So you start coming up with new stuff.
Yeah.
Like what you just said right there. So.
And I always recommend, but not everybody does this, so I can't say if it's right or not, but I usually audio record at the minimum my sets in a video, and you don't have to play them for anybody or anything, but you just start hearing it, getting used to it, and say, okay, that part was kind of boring. Nobody laughed. Oh, man, they love that joke. I didn't think they'd love that joke that much, and then so it's just like anything. It's like working on your shot, It's just like getting it down. But I think just, man, if you can just carve out a little time, I wish. Looking back on my time doing comedy so far, I say, man, there's other, but you learn as you go. But it's like it's a discipline, man. It's and that's what's hard is that, man. It's almost part of the game being out till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's part of it, but at the same time, you have to figure out, okay, how do I get my writing done in the daytime so at nighttime I can try these jokes out.
Yeah, so you think you should definitely write every day.
I think so. I mean, at the very least, you should look at your set list. I mean,
Punch it
now,
up.
I say that, but I have never been consistent about every single day I write. But I try to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I put it into mind. I put it into thing, and I think that it's the more you can do of that, the better you get at it. And I've had times where I sat and tried to write and tried to write and tried to write and nothing came out. But then I'd be walking through the day and then something funny would come to my mind. And I'm convinced it's because of all that time I spent trying to write something that wasn't there because your mind starts,
Yeah.
you know.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been writing like essay form. You just coming up with the subject idea, just writing the idea out, and then try to find the funny in it, and then start working on that part of it.
Yeah, it's good to know who you are, like your identities, right?
Yeah.
So if you write like, I own a Jeep, and what's it like owning a Jeep, and you just sit there writing, oh, people look at you this way, you got to look down at them if you can't stick your foot out the window, even though it might feel whatever, I'm just so. And if you write for a while and then it starts coming to you, a lot of times for me, my main topics are things that have been hurt me, anger me, or maybe cry. Those are kind of, and with me for traumatic events. But when you first have a traumatic event, it's not funny to you, right? Right. You flip your car. It's not funny right away. You lose your finger. I mean, you see it, but it's not. You got to kind of distance yourself from it. And but you just sit down there and write, and then it starts coming, and then naturally lines will come or funny things. And of course, when you're talking to people, it might be some annoying to people sometimes how I am, but if something is funny that I say during a conversation, I quickly record it on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Because there's been times I haven't done that, and I'm pissed at myself because I don't remember what I said or how I said it or exactly what was said. And then you try to remember it, but it's not the same as when you first say it, because when you first say it, that's how you naturally talk.
Yeah, I just assume the things I can't remember weren't worth remembering. So if it comes back to me a few times, then I'm like, okay, that's probably important.
You could look at it like that, but I'd rather not take the chance.
Just have that's why you have a stack full of notebooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so many notebooks. Well, yeah, I've been writing, I guess, and then what's cool is you go back to them later on, to your old notebooks, and you might see something in there that you couldn't make funny at the time, but now you can make funny.
Yeah.
But it also kind of chronicles your life, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All little girls have journals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I learned it from all my girlfriends.
You stole their journals. Just
Yeah,
started writing
exactly,
them.
dude. I just rewrote the stories.
Yeah, there it is. That's how you became a good writer. Well, cool, man. So, what kind of oops, I didn't mean to hit that like that. So, what kind of advice would you give somebody who has been doing it for a year or two and they're still like doing open mics, they're still not getting on the shows yet? They're looking for that next bump. What's a good way to get that next bump?
Man, to get to as far as that goes in the business, man, I think the next bump. It depends. Everybody's different, right? But to me, it was always about getting your own venue, doing your own thing, right? You're not, somebody else isn't doing this podcast for you. You're doing this podcast. So I think that comics, if they can get have their own room, even in Ohio, I'm doing that, bro. I got a bar I'm doing once a month. Okay, I guarantee a spot this month on this day.
Right. Okay.
So that's my gig. Okay, then I can book other comics, and hey man, come do my spot. And then by that, you kind of like you're getting a spot, and you're giving other people a spot. And you're creating comedy in somewhere that might not have comedy.
Yeah.
Like this bar ain't gonna have comedy till what I mean. So now you creating a comedy show, and now you're meeting other comics, and then they're telling you, oh, you hear about this show going on here? Oh, there's a show in Pittsburgh next week. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or and here in Austin there's a lot, but I think that you can always have, and then if you host the show, I mean everybody, even if you host the show and you're doing it every day and you get all these reps in between the comics, right? So you come up, you get the mic, you do your time, and then and so to me that's one thing that you can boost up quicker, is that you got your own venue where you're putting on a show.
Okay.
And who knows what it can turn into.
Sure. I mean, I remember, but having your own venue and having your own show just wasn't all you have to do, man. You were out there passing out fucking flyers all the time. You were pulling people into that shit.
Yeah. Well, you have to.
You have to really work it.
You have to work it. I mean, I did. You have to work it. But to me, and my purpose of working so hard for that was knowing I was getting stage time out of it, and I wasn't having to ask somebody else for stage time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, man, even with filmmaking or whatever, man, you do it. Like now I'm learning how to freaking shoot film, even on my phone, make it look good so that I don't have to ask somebody else to, hey, will you hold this for me while I walk here? Let me just set the try to do my. Nobody wants to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, people want to help. People only want to help you if it helps them too, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know. So it's like the more that you can do, and a lot of times comics get a little bit of like say things like, and I understand, but well, I don't promote. Well, come on, dude. We kind of need you to. We got this show, and if we're gonna keep doing this show, tell 2 people at Subway. I don't give a crap. You know, like just kind of help it. You know, like or I don't want to. It's all this. I don't. Well, then that's not gonna.
Yeah. You're not gonna get.
You're not gonna get you because people, dude. If somebody's putting on a show, they want to have somebody who is gonna even repost the flyer maybe or something like that, you know. But I think the more you can take into your own hands, the better off you are. The more things you can learn, you know, like that. What you got here? How do I learn? I'm sitting here looking at your stuff like, okay, what kind of microphone is this? Wonder where you got it. What's this thing? You know what I mean? How does this connect into this?
I thought you were just fidgeting with all my cords.
No, but I'm fidgeting with them. But I'm like, but the more you know about all this stuff, the more you can teach yourself, the better you're going to be. And but yeah, man, it's a discipline. And the thing is too, you got to look at it like the hard thing is that people take off at different times.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be, you can't, well, you take a guy like me who's been doing it for so long and seen so many people just,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sitting here like, okay. Like, I feel like I'm still on the starting line, you know?
Yeah.
I know I've been running, but it feels like everybody, I'm still, but you don't, maybe there's a reason for it, maybe there's not, but I look at it like, well, I still love doing comedy like I did when I started.
Okay.
So
having a passion for it is important.
The passion, dude. Either you really, because it's like, okay, people are gonna pass you, and it's a marathon, dude. Some people are way up there. You're like, man, how the heck do I get up there? But meanwhile, a lot more people have dropped off.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, okay, I look forward to running the next step. I look forward to going out to these 2-3 mics tonight and seeing, man, I wonder what I'll come up with. Wonder what I'll do. Wonder what I do. You know.
Yeah.
Now I do say, like, over time, some of the stuff gets like a little boring, like some of the mingling and stuff like that gets to a point. I like talking to people after the shows about the show, but there's also like just so much going lingers and stimulate. You know, there's like, so you know, that's like why sometimes when I go back to Ohio, dude, I'm just like, I just isolate.
So you don't do the crowds too well. You don't like to be around the people. You don't like to be alone writing on stage alone. But when it comes to friends and groups and whatnot, it doesn't work out too well.
No, to an extent. No, I do. I like talking to the people after the shows, and I have great conversations with people at the shows. But you also get tired. Like, it can be, the late nights can get to you.
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean? And then because the problem with the late nights is, then they turn into late mornings.
Yeah.
You know, and so that can kind of just, and but now I do prefer now to be out on gigs with less comics than more comics.
Do you feel like as you're getting older though, you need less sleep though? Like you can be out later and get up earlier. I've noticed that about me. That's why I'm asking. So like I used to like sleep a lot more in my 20s than I do.
You know, that's probably true. That's probably true. But you know, I noticed that, like, man, if I can get after something in the morning, first thing in the morning, man, I feel better because I got everything done real quick. But you know, this business is a nighttime business, so I don't know. It's just kind of trying to find. It's to me right now. I'm trying to find get my career, just move it, keep moving, but have a regular life too.
Well, you have cows at home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably why you have to get the fuck up in the morning. That's what's hindering the late nights.
Yeah,
is the fucking farm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's two different worlds, right?
Yeah. So that's fun though. You have any interesting cow stories for us before?
Well, I think. Well, my friend, this is actually a topic I'm working on was, so when I look at cows, right, when let's say you go and you get hay to feed the cows, right, and the cows are looking at you, and they look at you they don't look at you quite with love, but they look at you like they like you because you're feeding them. Now cows are very docile. They won't, they won't be aggressive at all. They'll back up. You come up
Okay.
to them, if you really get to know a couple of them, they might let you pet their heads a little bit, but they're not like,
Huh.
So even like cows, because we've dominated them for so long, it's in their psyche.
Sure. Okay.
And so when I look at cows, though, here recently, I look at it like how people are with the government now.
All right. I think you're just trying to work this bit in.
I am, dude.
Anything I was going to ask you about was going to end up here, I think. You just had to figure out how to steer cows into this moment right now.
Hey, you brought up cows. I didn't bring up cows.
Yeah, but here we are talking about the government. I definitely did not bring that up.
Okay, you didn't bring up the government.
I brought up cows. But here we go. Give me your analogy of how the cows are like the people in the government.
Well, the government basically would be how I can control the cows with the food and with the power.
Yeah.
And then, eventually, what do I do? I take the cows to get slaughtered.
Oh yeah, you just gotta give them a two-party voting system. Do they want to get slaughtered, shot in the head, or do they want to get slaughtered by just going out to pasture and eventually dying in a few years? Either way, we're gonna eat you.
Yeah.
But you get to vote on the way you want to go. I think that'll be useful for all the cows waiting to die. But what about, so now the reason why we got into the green room and stuff with Hinchcliffe before is because you've been doing comedy for 16 years. You've been out in LA. You guys started out in LA together.
Yeah.
You got any cool Hinchcliffe stories you can share with this Austin comedy audience?
Well, man, he's proof. Keep going, dude, because he and I used to both ride our bikes to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, so
he's got a Corvette now. I'm still riding my bike. So
you got two bikes, man. You got a Sunday, you got a weekend bike and a weekday bike.
Yeah, I moved up to a moped. Okay. No, Prius, which is about the same as a moped.
Nah, it goes a little bit faster.
A moped does.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. No, I just, just was.
Come on, man. What?
I've seen him on gigs. It's regular, just like anybody, man.
Anybody. But you were hosting mics at the Comedy Store, right?
Yeah, I had some show. I had my show at the Belly Room.
How was it to get that opportunity? What'd you have? Whose tits did you have to suck for that?
Man, I didn't. None. It was just it's the same. Well, one dude, how I got that gig was because I went out and find my own spot when I started, and then I got knowing how to do shows, and then you had people would trust you with stuff, right?
So,
okay, he can do a show. He can get people come to see his shows.
So you started a small gig out like somewhere that wasn't a comedy club, obviously.
Right.
And so you started building up an audience that showed.
Yeah.
You brought that show to the comedy club.
Yes. So I built my crowd, and then I would say, hey, can I do a show here? I'm already getting people to this club. And then my club that I started with, the 3 clubs, I had it down so that every week I had people coming.
Nice.
And then I said, okay, well, let's just parlay this into other places. And now I can take that skill set anywhere I want. I could start that I could start that in Austin. I can start it wherever.
Right on.
So I would like to. I want to do gigs in Austin, man. I would love to be out here doing a lot of gigs because I see a lot of talented people.
Yeah.
And people I'd like to work with and learn from. And there's all kinds of unique characters here and a lot of different types of comedians. And I think that. I haven't been in LA for 3 years. I haven't been in New York for 3 years, but I would say that I think that the characters here are, I would put it up. I would put them up with any LA or New York right now with what's coming up here, and I think that, I like doing some shows in Miami because I like that city, but even that doesn't have nearly, of course not, but it's like they got some good, but it's interesting because here is such an edge on the city.
Yeah.
Someplace like Miami's fun to do shows, the people are fun, it's this and that, but how do I put it politely, the intellectual the more kind of, Miami's such a fun place. They don't pay attention to the news, right?
Yeah.
Where Ohio's such a rough place. All we can do is watch the news.
Nobody's having fun. Huh?
Nobody's having fun, right? So but like here, it's like, it's like,
good mix of
it's
the
a
two.
good mix.
Yeah.
It's a good mix. And I think that a lot of people got out of LA because of how stupid it was getting, and a decent amount of comics came out here. And I actually think that a lot of the smaller places are gonna thrive coming up. I even see it in my little hometown. I mean, it's like stuff's popping up there. People are getting tired of what happened with the cities, and people are kind of becoming more wanting to be left alone. And I see that I think that the rural America is gonna make a little bit of a little surge forward.
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, because honestly, dude, when I'm pulling into Austin and I'm seeing the homeless and the thing and the zombie
Well, that's
apocalypse.
downtown. There's a lot of rural areas.
Yeah,
around
well,
here,
that could be better.
Yeah.
So I would much rather live in there. But I'm sitting here thinking, man, I wouldn't want to, like where you live and see, that's the thing. Where you live and where you play is two different spots.
Sure, yeah. That's why it takes me 30 minutes to get down there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth it to be out somewhere where you're away from all that craziness, But it's hard to see because so many cities are just getting like that. I mean, we're in such a crazy world right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's a really cool Hinchcliffe story, man.
sorry, going.
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean, dude, come on. We used to ride our. I mean, dude, I saw him at shows all the time. We would both ride our bikes to the comic store, man. I mean,
That's cool because we saw him last night, and it was cool to see the how big, I mean, we used to go to the comedy store I used to go as a patron, as I would go there with fucking even like I'd go like for Frank Nicotero when he was like doing shows. He would invite me out and stuff because I would just knew him from like laughing and clapping gigs and stuff, But I would see Hinchcliffe working there, like working there.
Yeah, he had a job, man.
Yeah,
he was a door guy.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see the difference because when he last night he was tipping the door guy. It was cool to see that difference.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean he's paying for us to go and walk to the club. Yeah. So I mean, dude, it's pretty cool, man. I can't deny that it's pretty fun to see people that you've known for a long time
come up like that.
Yeah. I mean, and I know a couple people.
There's a lot of people that didn't come up like that we knew, and some that were coming up that didn't died along the way. That like Ramsey. He was a great comic and a great actor, and we filmed that fucking thing together, and he didn't see the end of it. That's the craziest shit like that. So to see somebody who lived through L.A. and fucking still be fucking coming up and doing roast battles or roast fucking Burt Kreischer roast and all that shit still, it's awesome,
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And it's like, and it kind of keeps me going, because I think, well, it's possible.
Yeah.
Everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, but knowing that you're in the ring with.
Yeah, you're not.
You're in the game with players. You know what I mean? Like
This is who's left. That's what I'm saying. There was a big ocean before, and now there's a fucking fish tank of these people that you can see and watch. That who they are.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're just right there in that fish tank. Just get
Yeah. I just need some food to trickle in. Somebody pinch some food in for
whatever
me.
it is that makes that guppy stand out in that fish tank.
But a lot of it's just to keep on going with the material, man. Because
yeah, that's it. Writing every day, coming up with new stuff. You listen to a lot of comics that have been coming up, do you listen to the comedy when you're on the road?
Yeah, I do listen to a lot of comedy. Now, I will admit though that I love George Carlin, Bill Hicks, and Sam Kinison, so I still listen to them the most. Okay. Just like I listen to Tom Petty and Johnny Cash and AC/DC the most, but because you get kind of boom, right. I'm used to, but. I do listen to a lot. What I'll do sometimes is I put Pandora on and I'll put comics on and just see who's coming up, how they're doing their bit, this and that. you know. And but like last night, going and listening to the comics on stage and everything, and you know, so I mean, I'm aware of pretty much everything. You know, you don't know all the comics, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you also get in your groups, you know what I mean? It's like being in school, right?
Well, yeah, I'm trying not to do that, but I make I'm like I was in school. I was always moving around, so I make friends with all the groups. It seems
Yeah,
like
you got to make friends with all the groups, but there's also guys that you know, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be doing gigs. These couple buddies of mine. We're always doing gigs together, so
Well,
you
that's
know
the
their
way-
material.
Yeah.
You know their material better than somebody else's material
For
who you
sure.
don't work with as much,
Yeah.
obviously. Um, but um, but yeah, I'm interested to see. You know, it's kind of like Rodney Dangerfield used to have these specials that he would host, and he brought on Dice, Seinfeld, Tim Allen, Bill Hicks,
They,
Sam Kinison.
they were already somebody at that time, though, a little bit, right?
They were kind of on their ways up.
Yeah. So how do you
But some-
find those on the way up people? How do you know who that is? Like, who would you say? Give me some
Well,
examples.
I
of who
think
you pull right
Tony's finding them. See, I think his show is the thing that's like
now. Well, he also finds the people that should kill themselves too.
Well, he finds everyone, but they shouldn't have killed themselves.
But you-
Take that off. You're gonna.
There's one that we talked about on the show.
No, I want to say that. I would never say that.
I didn't say it, but
you ain't saying that.
It was popular, but it was
you-
popular opinion.
Okay, we don't need to say that while I'm on here because I don't want to put that out there to the world.
No, don't
but,
kill yourself over a comedy, but don't move out here and give up everything for Kill Tony either.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't give up. You know, that's one thing I would say to people, man, is have a life outside of comedy, though, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing. You know, there was years that I didn't, and I actually was more miserable then. You know, as a person. So I was like, dude. But now when I have like, I mean, how do I say, man? I want to be. I want to, you know, keep doing my thing, comedy, and be successful and everything, but not at the expense of giving up all the other things in life that are good.
Like food,
Well, food, but just your
Car.
family. Yeah, well,
house.
you know, the money,
place to live.
the money stuff. But I'm saying with personal people. You know.
Sure, you give up relationships and all that.
Well, so far all the women relationships I've given up for have been okay. But like, you know, but like,
Well, with your family and shit.
yeah, but being close to your family, things, you know, like stuff like that.
I
People
get
who actually care for you, because at the end of the day, the people in the crowd, they don't hold.
No. I'm just giving you some background to go with your story.
Okay. Anyways.
No, I was just making sure that we set the tone for your story. It was a little loud. I need to turn that down somehow. Brian, you're on stage all the time. I heard you pumping your music when you came in here. That didn't blow out your eardrums yet.
Fatality.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't know,
Blow out
man.
your eardrums. No. Now I fuck with you, man. So, anyways, great to have you here back in town, brother.
Yeah,
for
man.
real. And I think we're gonna do some good stuff. I think there's a lot of good stuff to be done here.
I
But,
do. I think Austin's a great comedy scene, man, and there's a lot of energy and a lot of unique, you know, and it seems like it's a whole scene,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like it's its own like kind of world out here, and yeah, I'm definitely gonna be wanting to make it out here any chance I can, you know, anytime it's possible.
Anytime the cows are fed and
When the cows are fed and you know, America's getting its milk.
and then it's raining in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool, brother. Well, I appreciate you taking the time and discussing comedy in Austin with us here on the Austin Comedy Review. But yeah, brother, thanks for coming out.
You got it, man. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Yeah.